Howdy, y'all. Corey reporting in again in Wheaton, Illinois, USA, one more time. Wow, would you look at that? I know it's been a long time, about a year or so by now. Um, just been busy. You know how it goes. But reporting in live on July 10th, 2025. Moderate storming. There were flash flood warnings in the area and Lyle, all throughout 2 p.m. to about now, but no visible signs so far. The rain has been moderate, I'd argue. Here and there, it's been a little more intense, a little more calm. No clear, consistent pattern exactly. The lightning has been quite the show, though. The skies have really been lit up this afternoon, and the clouds have been booming real loud. It's a nice sight, just like any other. Ooh, look at that one. But yes, very heavy lightning presence. Very mediocre rain. Well, mediocre is the wrong word. I should say moderate, to be honest. Um, Otherwise, though, standard rainy day. Very hot lately, to be frank. Not as bad as about a month or two ago, though. It was reaching 100 on one day. That was certainly terrible, but it's definitely eased down by now. Hardly ever goes into the 90s at all. Maybe mid to late 80s at best. But it's been very moderate. Not horrible. We're approaching summer solstice. That's something to look forward to. The longest day of the year. And the shortest night of the year, of course. Hopefully it doesn't rain on summer solstice. That would kind of defeat the whole sunny purpose. But you never know. You can only ever predict the rain when it's happening or when it's already happened. Weather, rain, sleeting, tornadoes, freaking hurricanes. You can predict it. I mean, you can guess, but you'll never know what comes next, really. That's why it's best to be prepared, be aware. Ooh. And, of course, practice safety precautions. For one thing, just understand how it works. Knowing weather patterns, sensing barometric pressure changes. Many factors play into it, really. So, I suppose, for the sake of safety, every day that I report the weather, however often that will be, hopefully more often now, the corresponding to the weather, I will give a fact. Just about basic safety. You know how it is. And so, for the first day, our first fact will be how to keep yourself safe during a lightning storm. The first thing to know about lightning storms, of course, is that, they're very dangerous, but at the same time, very safe. It's just that the danger potential is very high. So, the first thing you should know is to detect the signs of when lightning may strike you or an area very close to you. Let's say you're walking on the sidewalk and there are no trees nearby. If you feel the hairs on your arm or your legs or your hair starts to lift up, like say you rubbed a balloon on it, that is a big indication right there. If you can tell that, you can tell if lightning's going to come. You may be wondering, of course, okay, so my hair started to tingle and my head hair, started to rise. What do I do then? Am I dead? No. Of course you're not. The best thing that you can do is avoid going near other tall objects. Like, don't go near a tree. If you're standing underneath a tree in a lightning storm, that's an extremely bad idea. For one thing, trees are very tall. For another, wet wood will indeed conduct electricity, and it loves to do that. So, if your hair starts to tingle and you get all the signs, the best thing you can do is crouch or lay down to the ground as close as you can. What this will do, in essence, is force the lightning, as long as it's not too late, to choose a different target, because if you're laying flat on the concrete, you're a very unideal target to be striking. Instead, if there's, say, a tree, maybe 30 feet away from you, it'll try to target the tree instead. Of course, you may still get a little shocked, because it is rather close, but getting struck directly by lightning, that is a very, very bad fate. Oh, a little a little bonus fact. If you're caught in a lightning storm and the only cover is, say, your car nearby, don't enter your car. Unless, of course, it is a more modern model that has a lot more safety components in it. If you're entering anything made before, say, 2005, it is extremely unsafe to do so, especially if the car is on. Because if you're inside that car when the lightning strikes it, sure, if you got rubber seating and all that, you'll probably be okay from the initial shock, but the rest of the car will not be. And, well, if it sets on fire, or, say, the fuel tank ignites, or a couple other things that may very well happen, you could be in a lot more trouble than if you had just simply laid down. Again, don't try to use cars as a last resort, in a sense. Avoid going into them unless you know that even laying down will not save you, because in the off chance that you do get inside and lightning does strike it, unfortunately, the odds are not exactly in your favor that everything will be entirely okay. Hell, it'll blow the tires out, it'll probably rupture the gas tank, completely destroy the oil in the engine, fry every single electronic. Hell, you're not going to have a car after it's done striking. After the lightning's done striking it, you're just going to have a heap of metal and destroyed rubber. Not even the electronics will be able to be recycled. Frankly, it's just so far gone. Maybe the copper, but. Since we're on the topic of electricity as a whole, here's a little tidbit about that. If someone gets shocked by something, let's say somehow they briefly touch a power pole and, they go limp and all that, really, really be careful to not touch them at least for a few seconds. Because just because the electricity tried to pass through them doesn't mean all of it has escaped yet. You could get a shock too, potentially. Humans, we are so full of minerals and all sorts of things that really, really like to conduct electricity. So, if someone gets shocked, if you touch them too early, you may as well have just touched a nice, open, human battery of electricity. Of course, it's not always a guarantee. I'm not an electrician, but You know what? Since this is the first episode, per se, where I'm giving out these facts, I'll give one more specifically about lightning. If you're near a tree when it is struck, do you know what the biggest danger is if you're not touching the tree? No, it's not the static discharge next to you, it's actually the explosion. See, trees are also full of minerals, but normally these minerals are rather inert when they're, not wet. When water is introduced to the entire system on such a degree, like during rain, if lightning is to strike it, it is almost a guarantee that the raw amount of energy passing through it will cause it to explode. And if not the whole tree, then at least the top half of it. So, that's another reason to avoid trees. Even if you're not directly under the canopy or touching the trunk, you should stay away. Those explosions, whoa. But like I was saying, that explosion is so intense, you could very well die from it just from the shrapnel alone. I mean, it's not a guarantee, but if it wasn't a guarantee, then, nothing else is. Well, I think that's enough for now. Have a nice day, have a good night to all of my fellow Wheatoners, and everyone across Illinois for that matter. And I'll see you next time when the weather gets interesting.